After rejecting the pool cleaner, a mother finds herself in a tricky situation when he starts dating her daughter to get back at her. She calls the man and tells him to stop calling her daughter, then Rhonda goes for a swim, but she is attacked by a strange man who tries to drown her. She fights back, but he bangs her head against the edge of the pool, ending her life. He then places her body in a bathtub filled with water. 5 months after Rhonda's death, a divorced woman, Gale, and her daughter Becca, move into the house. While checking the pool outside, the teenager notices how dirty it is. She suggests hiring a pool cleaner. A bit later, Gale tries to watch TV. Suddenly, she hears a noise coming from outside. She meets Adam, Rhonda's pool cleaner. She confronts him for trespassing and he quickly apologizes, explaining he didn't know the house was already sold. As the man prepares to leave, Gale decides to hire him. Back inside the house, she glances out the window and notices the young man's attractive physique. At that moment, Becca arrives and also notices Adam, whom she also finds attractive. After getting to know him, Becca immediately calls her best friend, telling her she might be in love with Adam. That night, Gale decides to have a bath. Remembering that the previous owner died in the bathtub, she changes her mind and takes a shower. On Sunday, Gale hears the doorbell and finds Adam at the door, who needs to collect his buckets from the pool. They have a brief conversation but are interrupted by the arrival of Tony, Gale's ex-husband, who asks why she hasn't signed the divorce papers yet. She replies that her lawyer is still finalizing everything. He also mentions that he's heading down the coast with his new girlfriend, Cindy, and proudly shows off his new car. That's when Adam appears with his buckets, prompting Gale to introduce him to her ex-husband. Attracted to Adam, Cindy starts flirting with him, which prompts Tony to pull her away so they can leave. Back inside, Gale vents to Adam, frustrated by her ex-husband flaunting his new life in movies and TV. Adam comforts her by assuring her she's better off without him. Gale asks why men dating younger women are often celebrated, while women doing the same are often judged. Adam agrees. He insists on cheering her up and encourages her to have fun, which leads her to give in and have a romantic moment with him. Meanwhile, Becca informs Jackie about Adam's existence. Her best friend searches for his online presence but finds no accounts. Despite this, she encourages Becca to make a move if she finds the pool cleaner attractive. After this steamy moment, Gale immediately realizes she made a mistake, clarifying that what happened between them only happened once. Hearing this, Adam is disappointed. However, she explains that she doesn't want to stoop to her ex-husband's level. Feeling hurt, Adam leaves. Back at his place, he works out, telling himself he feels used and that he can play the same game too. He shows he has photos of Gale and Becca on his wall. The next morning, Becca returns home. Glancing out the window, she sees Adam cleaning the pool. Following Jackie's advice, she puts on a swimsuit to attract Adam. She applies lotion on her body, prompting Adam to help her apply it on her back. As is about to leave, Becca pulls his arm and makes him fall into the pool. She quickly apologizes, explaining it was her best friend's idea, then jumps in after him. However, her mum comes home earlier than expected and catches them in the pool together. Annoyed, she talks to Adam privately, advising him to keep what happened between them a secret. She also warns him not to seduce her daughter, because she's too young for him, but Adam defends himself, claiming he can date whoever he wants now that things are over between them. After their chat, he invites Becca out for lunch. The next morning, Gale asks her daughter where she's off to, all dolled up, but Becca lies, saying she's going to study with Jackie at the library. Aware she's fibbing, she decides to let her go, later realizing it was the pool cleaner who picked her up. Becca and Adam then have a great time at the amusement park. They grab dessert at an ice cream parlor. Just as they're about to kiss, Jackie interrupts them, prompting Becca to introduce Adam to her best mate. While Becca goes to fetch some napkins, Jackie chats with Adam, trying to find out if he's on social media. But he simply tells her he's taking a break. When Becca gets home, her mum scolds her for lying about being at the library. Becca confesses the truth but insists she's old enough and that a date isn't a big deal. However, Gale explains that Adam is too old for her, but her daughter just scoffs and walks off. Learning that her best mate is grounded, Jackie visits her the next morning. She points out that Adam's absence from social media is a red flag, suggesting he might be hiding something or avoiding someone. Hearing this, Becca gets upset, comparing her best mate to her overbearing mum. Then, Adam arrives and carries Becca to the pool. At the same time, Gale comes home to grab her USB stick and catches her daughter outside with Adam. After sending Becca to her room, Gale confronts Adam, accusing him of dating her daughter to make her jealous. To put an end to it, she sends him packing. The next day, she hires a new pool cleaner, Carlton. During their chat, the bloke reveals he was Rhonda's pool cleaner before Adam, and there were rumors he had a fling with her. As Carlton continues cleaning, he finds a tooth stuck in the drain, prompting Gale to head to the police station to meet Detective Davidson, who's handling the Rhonda Phillips case. Gale wonders why the deceased's tooth is in the pool if she died in the bathtub. She also asks the detective if she knows Adam. Davidson mentions they haven't found anything linking him to Rhonda's death. Hearing this, Gale insists the detectives dig deeper. Worried, she immediately tries to contact Becca, but she doesn't pick up. To find her, she visits Jackie, who only tells her that Becca isn't speaking to her anymore. Gale shares her suspicion about Adam's involvement in Rhonda's death, and Jackie agrees, saying the bloke gives her the creeps. Worried, Jackie calls Becca, but Adam answers and overhears her suspecting he might be involved in Rhonda's death. He then sends a message to Jackie from Becca's phone, asking her to come over at 11 p.m. Jackie arrives and sees a note on the door asking her to enter from the back to avoid waking Gale. Immediately, Adam pushes her into the empty pool, breaking her leg. As she screams in pain, Gale and Becca rush to her aid. The next day, after receiving a creepy text from Adam, Gale, frightened, rushes to her ex, asking him to have a man-to-man chat with the pool cleaner. She spills everything, saying Adam texts her every day, telling her she reminds him of his late mum. She adds that the obsessive bloke is dating Becca for revenge. After learning all this, Tony confronts Adam and punches him, warning him to stay away from his ex-wife and daughter. But Adam retorts by telling Tony that Gale loves him, and he insults him for being a lousy dad and husband. When Adam explains that he, Becca, and Gale will be happy together, Tony realizes this bloke is truly mentally unstable. Becca accuses her dad of having beaten Adam. When she shows him photos of her boyfriend, covered in bruises, Tony defends himself by saying he only hit him once, and explains that the guy she's seeing is unstable. Despite this, Becca doesn't believe him and leaves. Unbeknownst to Tony, Adam is plotting nearby. Later, Cindy invites Tony into the spa, but he quickly realizes the water has burnt his skin. All of this is, of course, Adam's doing. Then, he takes Becca to the mansion he looks after. Becca quickly realizes that her boyfriend has a thing for her mum. The man then admits that his relationship with Gale was special. He also confides that he prefers mums over young women because they can handle real relationships. Angry, Becca pushes him into the pool, realizing her dad was right. Suddenly, she receives a text from Jackie, informing her that she's back at work. Scrolling through the messages, she discovers the one sent to her best friend. Immediately after, Becca rushes to the ice cream shop to apologize to Jackie. Suddenly, Jackie spots Adam nearby, prompting her to call the detective. Worried about her mum, Becca rushes home. Meanwhile, Carlton continues fixing the pool. Gale asks him to close the door behind him. She receives a call from Davidson informing her that Adam's fingerprints were found on the side of Tony's spa. She also says there's speculation that he collaborated with his mum when he was younger to end his dad's life. At that moment, Becca arrives and apologizes to her mum for everything that happened. Meanwhile, Carlton prepares to lock the back door. But Adam ends his days and then throws his body into the pool. Still on the phone, Davidson recommends the mother and daughter stay at a hotel while the authorities search for Adam. Unbeknownst to them, he's already inside the house. After the call, Gale goes upstairs to pack her things. Becca does the same in her room. However, she spots Adam's car through the window. Before she can scream, he covers her mouth, putting her to sleep. Gale soon finds her daughter unconscious. As she tries to help her, she slips and hits her head on the floor, seeing Adam before losing consciousness. Upon waking, Gale finds herself in a bed covered with petals. Panicked, she goes downstairs and sees Adam, who has prepared dinner for her. When he invites her to dance, she accepts out of fear, then asks where Becca is, but he simply tells her that her daughter won't bother them anymore. When Gale mentions Rhonda, Adam admits to ending her life because she didn't want to be with him. He also confesses to killing his dad, who he claims was trying to come between him and his mum's special relationship. Still worried about Becca, Gale rushes outside. She sees her daughter chained to the pool, which is being filled. At that moment, Adam catches up to her. But Gale headbutts him and uses the pool net to hit him. Gale quickly frees her daughter and rushes inside. Shortly after, Davidson and the police arrive to arrest Adam. Becca and Gale then return home, finally safe from danger.